It is a confusing time to be a Catholic, and that's why I think right now is the best time to be Catholic, as we truly grow in virtue. And it's so confusing because about a week and a half ago, Archbishop Vigano, who was the nuncio for the United States, who is basically the closest guy to Pope Francis on U.S.-related issues, alleges that Pope Francis knew everything about McCarrick and even lifted some of the sanctions that Pope Benedict put on McCarrick. And we see that almost every cardinal and bishop and popular lay Catholic believes that this is true. So this has caused many to question, what should we do about Pope Francis? And I'm literally making this video because one of my friends sent this text to me verbatim. What should we do about Pope Francis? So here's my answer. Pray. And I feel like praying is the cliche, typical answer that we always get. But we need to pray for something very intentional, something very specific. And we need to pray for Pope Francis to respond to this. This is critical to the future of the faith. I mean, if the man that is in charge, the vicar of Christ on earth, knew about this and cooperated with the evil within the church, that's crazy. So he must come out and defend himself or admit to the evil that he cooperated in. And really, that's all we can do, is pray and petition for it. And we see a lot of solid petitions coming out. The Catholic Women's Forum has a petition with over 30,000 people that signed it. Women like Teresa Tomeo, Leah Darrow, Jennifer Fulweiler, and my wonderful wife, Anne-Marie Grijalva. These are little things that we can do to help make our voices heard, in addition to praying. And for those that are not women, I have one below that is another really solid petition for Pope Francis to respond. So that we're not just praying just for the sake of praying. We're praying specifically, if it's God's will, for Pope Francis to answer the allegations leveled against him for the sake of the church. And maybe this isn't a satisfying answer, right? Maybe you want more. Maybe you want us to try to impeach him or whatever, but he's the Pope. We can't do that. Something that might ease your concern, and something that I always think about it, because people always ask, what do you think about this? What do you think about that with Pope Francis? All the things that he said, he said quite a bit in his papacy. But I always say that at the end of the day, you and I, we're not responsible for Pope Francis's soul. We're not going to be judged for his actions, but we're going to be judged for our actions. So if his lack of response and his ambiguity leads us to be uncharitable, leads us to frustration, leads us to leave the church, that's on us. You and I, we receive grace from God to live a holy life, and it shouldn't depend on the actions of Pope Francis or a cardinal or a priest or anyone. It should rely solely on Jesus Christ. So in this time, as I said before, of confusion that leads us to virtue, why does it lead us to virtue? Because in this time where we really don't have the answers, where we really have no control, that's when we're supposed to have true faith in Jesus, knowing that he's in control of all this, and that our faith in him will allow us to have peace no matter what happens, no matter what comes out, no matter if he comes out and says, yeah, all this is true, but I don't care, right? I mean, most likely that won't happen, right? But if that did happen, we'd say, all right, I'm going to keep praying for you, Pope Francis. I'm going to keep going to Mass. I'm going to keep going to the sacraments, because those are what God gave us to be with him someday in heaven. So what should we do? Pray for Pope Francis. Pray for him to come forward and say, yes, these are true. I'm sorry. I'm going to do everything I can to fix this, and have people follow up on that, not just take him for his word, as a lot of this stuff is criminal activity. And then we can truly move forward as a church, as a unified body, as the body of Christ, so that we can bring souls closer to Christ and get rid of this horrible evil of child abuse that is causing so many souls to turn away from Jesus. So feel free to go check out those petitions, pray for Pope Francis to come forward, and always keep that peace, knowing that you are responsible for your own soul, no matter what unfolds in the next couple weeks. Have a blessed day, and God love you.